What's up, fans? Welcome to another off-season episode. I'm your co-host, Little Ed. I'm joined by producer PJ over here in the top left, and obviously Coach in another location out on his pool deck in the nice summer weather. Maybe he's finally escaping that heat wave he keeps bringing up.
Yeah, it's coming back tomorrow, though, so I'm going to enjoy it while we can, boys.
I mean, the heat's still here, but the humidity's gone for now, but we'll see what happens. PJ, what's going on?
Yeah, not too much. Same idea. Yeah, it's been great here, but thankfully I have a pool too. It's been great use of that this summer so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. But the breeze is nice here down on Long Island. But finally, we have our special guest. We got him to come on with us, join us live here. So in the chat, if you guys have any questions, we'll try to sneak them in. But yeah, let's not waste any time and bring on Rob Schremp, another appearance.
What's going on, boys?
Schrempy. So, new listeners. This is probably, I think, Schrempy's third appearance on the show. He's been very generous with his time over the years, even when we were like a very, very small podcast, even though we're still a small podcast. But yeah, he's been very generous and always telling us good stories about the NHL and really, more importantly, what he's doing now. So, Schrempy, what have you been up to now, man?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good summer, doing a lot of development stuff in the off season. Skating players, you got on the ice, this month in July with Easton Cowan, top guy for the Toronto Maple Leafs and future prospect there. Bill brother Brett Harrison, he's a third round draft pick to the Boston Bruins, so he's climbing the ladder there in pro. So a bunch of guys like that in junior, and doing a lot of development stuff there, and then do business development for a biotech agriculture company. So a lot of golf courses and farms, setting up stuff like that. And it's been a great summer and getting a lot of stuff done on both fronts. So it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, you've been all over the place on social media. I mean, making appearance on podcasts, radio shows, like you name it and stuff. And last week you couldn't join us because you were doing something bigger and better with the NHL. I mean, if you're allowed to talk about any of it, please share. I mean, you posted on your story, so I'm assuming you could at least tell us what you were doing.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great initiative by the NHL. The alumni got me involved in it with Carly was her name, Napier. She said, thought I would be a good fit for that. So she set me up with it, and they just, put on a boot camp, teach, some ex-players on what it takes to be an analyst. And there was some great people involved. It was such a great opportunity to be able to spend that time with Eddie Olczyk, Kenny Alberts, Steve Levy, and Jody Shelley were the four guys. So Levy on the panel kind of thing on the, at the table. Then we had a chance to do what Edzo does with the telestration and the analyst stuff and breaking down plays like at live as if you're doing it in a game. And then doing an analyst thing side by side with Kenny Alberts, and then ringside reporting stuff from Jody Shelley. So I mean, these guys are all amazing at what they do, and getting that opportunity to just see what it takes, because you don't know. None of us really have. Some guys had reps, like Cal Clutterbuck has done some stuff. He's been doing stuff with the Islanders and MSG, so he got his feet wet and he was very comfortable. And a great guy to chat with and hear his side of it, what it was like getting into it and what it's like to do it. And then to learn. Yeah, it was super cool. So I enjoyed every bit of it and absorbed it like a sponge, and you get to see where you want to, where you can see yourself fitting and what's comfortable and what you need reps at, and go from there. We'll see what shakes out. Having done that, I definitely right away turn around. I'm like, okay, I'm right here in London, so possibly do some stuff here and reach out to those guys, and just even to get reps, not as a job, just to volunteer time and get some reps and maybe call some games and analyze some games it'd be really cool. So,
well, I think you'd be perfect for the Islanders on MSG, or I guess if you're in London, you'd be closer to Buffalo for MSG. But
yeah,
either way. So I guess last we spoke to. Sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I always found that we went to the Panthers game down at the playoffs, and we saw Ray Ferraro, and you're watching, like when we see it on TV, he's looking right at the camera, but they're looking into nothing and they're talking. It's got to be like a weird feeling to get used to, like when they're down low on between the benches or on, they're just looking straight ahead. They must focus on one thing.
There's got to be a target or something
right?
We don't see. Maybe Rob learned it in the boot camp.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
That's definitely, they were talking about that. It's really hard. That's really part of the toughness of that spot is that you're not in the booth, or you don't have face to face. You don't know when the cue happens. You have someone in your ear kind of communicating where the show is at and when they're going to come to you, kind of thing. But to your point, like you're just staring into the abyss, and sort of, I'm sure the first couple of times Ray was probably, I can't speak for him, but I can only imagine after did that last week and then being chucked into your first couple of reps, it's probably pretty bad. You're probably like Ricky Bobby there in his first interview and he doesn't know what to do.
Oh, Schrempy with the movie reference.
Yeah.
That goes over big on this podcast.
Yeah, that's funny.
When you played on the Islanders, was Ray Ferraro on the team?
No, he was much before me.
Oh, was he? I lose track of the time.
Yeah. Not that old.
Well,
I'm gonna say you're calling him
No,
old.
me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Like cousin Ed'll sit there. Oh, this guy was in. I'm like, when was this? I can't relate to the decades as you get older, I guess.
Yeah. No. So.
No, that's very cool, man. So, like, was that like boot camp or whatever, like a tryout, or is it more just like an open thing? Did you get invited, or are you allowed to say? Like, how did that work?
Yeah, I was an invite, so they wanted more guys to give that opportunity to, and again, get their feet wet a little bit. It's a day, and maybe next year it'll be 2 days, and we get a little bit different. Get some different reps and do some different things, and maybe prepare for a full game. Prepare like you're going to call a game, and then get a chance to call a game with a Kenny Alberts, or break down some highlights with Steve Levy, something like that. They'll build it out, but this is year 2 that they did it, and the invite was there. And again, they want guys that are coming out of the game to have a chance to get back in it, if they, whatever it might be, podcasting or radio or, analyst or whatever it might be. So it's a great, we all really loved it and had a great time. It's good to see each other too. A lot of us played against each other or with each other. So
yeah, a lot of familiar names for sure on that list.
Cameron Gauntz was him and his wife Andrea were the witnesses at our wedding. My wife and I eloped to Portland, Maine, and we needed a witness, and he was the witness. I hadn't seen him in I don't know, 10 years, so it was great to see him. Stuff like that, and then in the meantime,
it's friends forever, man. That's great. It's very, very cool. It's great. I think PJ said in our side chat that it's great that the NHL is doing stuff like that. Trying to get fresh names into the like with all the social media, and that's what I was going to ask you next. Is like with all the social media and stuff going on, like us as fans definitely want to see faces like you, people who have played, and like the people that we could somewhat relate to. Like. Tell it like it is, like tell things from experience. And that's why we love having you on. And we're going to get to it, but we want to pick your brain on some of the new things. And I always said like you were way ahead of your time with like your stick handling and your skills and all that stuff. Like you'd be all over social media these days if you were playing today's NHL. But speaking of social media, if you're watching live, I mean, we're a small podcast, but Rob is all over the bigger podcast, Spit and Chicklets. He's rocking the shirt. So I know you have a story about the shirt, Rob. So tell us the story quick before we get into the NHL stuff.
Yeah. No, we were on Brandon Preston and I were on the Sandbagger last year, and we had a great time, great event. It was fun to do. It's awesome to be able to do that. Those guys are awesome dudes. Like Whit and Biz are beauties. They make the time spent together is always electric. It's funny. There's some great pieces in that segment of ours, like Biz just saying funny things and doing things on the course. But after the round, we waxed them. I got voted the biggest sandbagger they ever had on their show.
Well, you showed up wearing a T-shirt.
Yeah,
I had the Chirpy on that.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
Well, my wife wasn't around at the time. I was over by myself, so laundry was light, and I was on the way out to the course, and I was like, I'll just get a shirt there. And then I remember like David Bolin took me out there like 2 weeks before that. He's a member out there. And it turned out like, he's like, yeah, you can wear a T-shirt, dude. As long as you wear a red tail T-shirt, if you're a guest, doesn't matter if you're a guest, as long as it's red tail, you can wear a T-shirt. I'm like, oh, that's sick. So then that morning I'm on the way out, I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to get a golf shirt. So I was like, I'm going to wear a T-shirt. And I knew that would be like, because this course is beautiful. And those guys don't know. Like, they don't even know what red tail is. And like, when you go to Fulham was a nice course, but you don't know until you get there. And then I knew that popping up with a T-shirt would be like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't see those guys.
Get the reaction that I just gave you pretty much is what you were looking for.
Yeah.
And it definitely hit for sure.
So that
I'm sure
was
I got a ton of comments on YouTube, on their YouTube, without a doubt. People just ripping you, or other way around too. I'm sure, but go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's always the keyboard warriors, but I don't really care. They're
No,
never.
I'm sure it was hilarious.
Then it's even Army said it in the piece too. You go, I want this shrimp guy. He's
Army's the best too, man.
just hitting bombs everywhere. So after the round, I was like, "Biss, I gotta get. Where do you get the merch, man? We just waxed you guys. Where's the merch bag?" And he's like, here, just take this one." He took his shirt off. I got it. I've been wearing it. I love the shirt, but it was hilarious. Yeah, I should have got him to sign it.
Yeah,
funny, but it was a great day. We had a good time doing
that's
it.
really funny.
Great content, and we
I was gonna
waxed.
say, it sounded like the NFL games when you see the players exchanging jerseys after the game.
Yeah. Biz is the type of guy, it seems like he would literally give the shirt off his back for you. So
before we get
that
into
he's
the
gone
serious stuff, Schrempy, I missed you on the last episode, but I did watch the Rangers Islanders alumni game.
Oh, nice.
Please tell me you were holding back because the white skates weren't flying out there.
You gotta crawl into those things. You don't come out guns blazing, and lineups.
You want to be invited back, right?
We were a little bit longer in the tooth than the Rangers were. So
yeah,
Cal Clutterbuck and myself were kind of the young guys, and it went a little bit deeper after that. So
did you pull one past Lundqvist? I don't remember.
I didn't know. No, I didn't score. I was kind of tentative too on like letting him fly. I didn't really want to beam him in the head or like in the collarbone. So I didn't really push the pace.
You could always shoot low, Rob. Schremp. You
What's
don't
that?
have to go you can always shoot low. You don't have to go for the corner every time.
Well, when he's down in the butterfly, you kind of have to.
I know.
It's not in the DNA yet. It's not in the DNA.
Yeah.
Did you score on Hank when you were playing the NHL?
Yeah. That was actually when I saw Kenny Alberts last week. He called the last game. He called that game, and it was the last game-winning goal of the Atlanta Thrashers history.
Wow. For some reason, I don't know why. I remembered you scoring on him. I don't know why I do.
This is why we have PJ, Schremp.
I have like a sicko memory when it comes to hockey and the Rangers. So.
That's great. Yeah, I scored 2 or 3 goals on Hank. So I had another one low glove with the Islanders, and then with the Thrashers, I scored one high blocker. It was a missile, and he actually. Oh yeah.
Were you playing against them in the playoffs in that 07 round?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. I was double checking when that year was. Trying to see if I got my years right.
Islanders?
That's great, man.
No, the Thrashers.
No, I was in the Thrashers in 11.
Okay, got it.
So then, and before that game, I got in shit too. Like the coach was like, "Give him." And it doesn't matter what the coach name was, but the coach gave me shit. Like, you're playing terrible. You got to pick it up. You're gonna be out of the lineup if you don't start playing. And I didn't agree with I didn't say anything back. I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll be good." And in my mind, I'm like, oh, I don't get why I'm getting this lecture and getting shit on right now. So, anyways, I was pretty pissed off, and it worked out great. Like, and I think it was first. When was that? Would have been the second period, I think. And then Avery turned the puck over, like it was a bad turnover, and got the puck out. Buff kept it in. It just worked its way around back to me, and I was top of the circles. I grabbed it and I pulled it into my body like I was going glove, and just snapped a missile high blocker. And I actually, like the one time, like Hank guessed wrong. He went for the glove, and it was already coming blocker side shelf. It was a missile.
Nice.
Up, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. That one of your coolest goals that you remember scoring in the league.
Yeah.
Did you keep a puck or anything? The stick? You have anything from that?
No, I mean, it was just one of.
Well, you think he was the best goalie you scored on? I was just teasing about the stick, but you think he would be the best one you scored on?
Yeah, I'd have to say, yeah, he was sick. I scored.
I guess resume wise, whatever you want to call it, I'm not most talented, but
probably, yeah. Then there's Luongo, a lot of shootouts. So I scored Luongo, Miller. I had a pretty good line.
Yeah, I guess that era that you played in had a lot of legends or a lot of very good goalies.
You played down in Atlanta, so what's your feeling on them possibly bringing the franchise back again?
That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know the inside.
No, I'm saying, what was it like down there playing? Was it the fan base was that good? What was it? The atmosphere was good for hockey.
Oh no,
Because this will be the third time a franchise comes back there.
I know we had no fans. I mean, it was tough. We had a really good team.
Really?
Like Blake Wheeler, all those guys that were in Winnipeg. Really, like Brian Little. We were stacked. Johnny Adulia, Bufflin, Pavlich in net. Like Ron.
And those jerseys were so nice. The red ones. I love the red ones.
Yeah. We had a really good team. We didn't have a fan base, so it was tough.
Might have to get a Rob Schremp
They keep
Atlanta
trying to bring
Thrashers
it back.
jersey.
Yeah, boys, bring it out.
That's great. That's great. So, yeah, I mean, a lot's been going on in the NHL. I mentioned before, I think you would thrive in today's atmosphere, if you will. I mean, I guess like what's like your general thought on, I guess, the direction the NHL is going? Obviously, the salary cap would be a big deal as a player. But other things, I mean, before PJ is going to cue you up with like a few like major points in the CBA that we feel like the players may or may not have won in, I guess, if you will. So like I said, we just wanted to get your thoughts on it. But like I said before, like what's your general thought on the culture of the league nowadays?
Yeah, it's great. It's a young league. It's very electric. It's fast. I think you see with the Four Nations event, like that's a pretty good spotlight on where the game's at. Like that was the fastest hockey I think anybody's ever seen. You can't tell me. I don't care what area you're in because it didn't exist. Like they didn't have, composite boots and sticks back in the 70s, 80s. I'm sure it was great hockey. That was the fastest hockey that's ever been played.
I mean, even on TV.
You could tell on TV also, yeah.
It was nuts. So the game's really evolved. And, the rule changed in 2005, right? That whatever, lockout, and then the rules changed after that. It took, about 10 years for the game to evolve, and it did. That's, think about 9 years from 2005 is McDavid in 2014. And also, like, the impact of Sidney Crosby, and he changed the game a lot. The way he played the game, even with, he came in that time, 2006, 2005, 2006, and his impact and, way he game changed the game and started evolving it. And then again, about 14, 15, it really started to get some high level stuff here. And, the Matthews and the McDavid and Marners and a lot of high level talented players. And the game's in a great place now. I think it's a very fun game to watch. High level. There's a lot of games in different markets, fun to watch with the type of players that are out on the ice. So the game's good and it's growing. They're adding more franchises and there's more opportunities, more spots for players, which is great. More jobs is better for everybody. So get opportunities. Plenty of guys and that never got a chance to play just because of that, how hard it is and how limited the spots are. So I think we're heading in the right direction and the game's evolving and it's fun to watch. I love the talent level now. Skills are high level.
Well, if Cousin Ed were here, he would say to stop expanding because it would give the Rangers less of a chance of winning the cup. But besides that, what were you going to say, Coach?
No, I would say I was laughing.
Well, I was going to say,
right,
speaking of culture real quick, I don't know if you paid attention regarding what went on with the Rangers this year with their like almost in-season locker room mutiny against the GM. I was curious, one, your thoughts on it, and two, have you ever been in that kind of like toxic, I guess we'll call it, locker room?
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
To that degree, I don't know. Not really. I've been in part of some pretty toxic years, and it's just horrible years. Losing a lot of games. That culture is horrible. It just sucks. Brings out the worst in people. Doesn't mean that they're horrible people. Sometimes you just need a new scene. But I can't to that degree, like a coup and pointing fingers and sorts. Not really. I wouldn't be able to add any depth to that or context.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess speaking similar to on the culture of the league, I've been speaking a lot on like the Panthers winning is almost a good thing for hockey. Not almost. I think it is a good thing for hockey because like now teams are going to try to match that intensity, match that structure of a lineup. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's how hockey should be played. Do you agree with that? Are you not necessarily happy? That might be the wrong word, but of them winning back-to-back cups or winning again?
I think it's great for the game. It grows the hockey in different markets. And now down in Florida, there's a lot of development and there's a lot of new in the youth. So it's not just about the top, like the tip, the NHL team's the tip of the iceberg. And what it funnels down to is communities and growth in the game and real growth. And for a long time, that was not down there. Just a lot of, now it's real
No,
hockey.
not like snowbirds, like not homegrown Florida
Yeah.
residents, if you
That's
will. Like grew up in Florida, I guess, like either transplants or like you said, like I said, snowbirds, people that live somewhere else in the summer or the winter.
Yeah. So now, there's like this team, there's an organization. I don't know the whole backdrop, but even when I was down in Florida, there was, there was Brindley. Now Gavin Brindley's coming out. Like he grew up in Darrow, Bonita Springs. His dad was coaching him, and Ernie Hartlieb. These guys were great guys. They played in the coast and knew the game a bit, and were developing the kids there. And then this guy, Matt Al Helgris, he's around the Tampa area. He has the Florida Alliance. He was a big part of that. The Florida Alliance is nationally known and does well at the national level. So that's a huge indicator that the hockey's growing in these markets and developing in the right path. Not just cute and they got hockey. It's like they're actually kicking ass and like getting to the nationals. That's a different conversation. So having Florida win the game, win the cup is super important game in my opinion, and it's great to see that they have a good product down there now. And it's not just someone. I know a lot of people go down there to retire in real life, but also in hockey, it used to be that way too, where it was just like the back nine of your career. You go down there and kick your feet up and, go to the beach every day. But now they got guys there. The brand of hockey that they played last year was unbelievable. Like it was unbeatable.
It was I was going to say perfect. Yeah.
They played as a unit. Barkov and Kachuk, and I'm not shitting on them, and I'm not saying negative. They didn't play horrible, but they weren't even the guys. It was like Marchand. It was like Seth Jones really stepped up. Previous years, it was Eki, Barkey, and Reinhart and Kachuk the first year. But last year, that was different guys that stepped up. So it's not about that, and it's not to take anything away from Barkov and Kachuk. It's just to show like how deep they are and how much they played as a unit. Like they played sick hockey, and
they would agree with you. They would say it first. That's what, and that's
did you
what they
see that
built.
move
They built that
Barkov
culture,
put
so
on?
they'd have to be.
PJ, what was that game where Barkov put the move on behind the net? Was that against Dallas?
I think that was Edmonton. It might have been Dallas. It might have been against Edmonton in the final.
Was it? It was that over.
Not
he
Dallas.
Just put
they
that
wouldn't
move
play it.
behind the net and
Dallas.
dished it. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, like I said, the direction of the league, or I guess like them being a force and other teams trying to match it, I think is great for the league. So PJ, why don't we cue Rob up? I know we don't have a ton of time left, but let's cue him up with a few of the main points of the CBA, and I want to see what he says or what he thinks compared to when he played, or maybe he doesn't like the new things.
Yeah, so like not this season, but the season after, it looks like they're moving from 82 games to 84. And they're cutting 2 preseason games. So obviously there's a little more wear and tear on the players, but obviously less preseason they have to deal with. They're kind of cutting that loophole with the playoff cap, where have you seen almost like the last few cup teams have taken advantage where you have these guys on long-term IR and then they're activated game 1 of the playoffs. And then the other big thing is they're cutting like the max contracts. Right now it's 7 years if you're a UFA, and 8 years if you're re-signed by your team, and that's going from the 6 and 7 respectively. So from a player's perspective, just curious, like, would you like those as a player, or is that more the league getting wins?
One at a time. What do you think about the games being added, I guess?
I mean, on a personal note, I would like it. I love the games. More the merrier for me. Not all guys share that thought, but cutting back on the preseason does add to that, because it is like preseason gets to be a grind. Like we train all summer long and we work our ass off all summer long. And once you get to a certain point, like when you're an established guy, that shit is a waste of time. When you're a guy chasing it and trying to climb, you need that time. Like that's where you get to impress, and it's a little bit extended. So it's like, as you're a little bit older, you're like, let's get this shit out of the way. When you're younger, you're like, no, I need to be here. So it's a give and take there. So that's where you gotta you think about it objectively and where the pros and cons are. But as I'm gonna talk about it as a guy that would be established. Absolutely, like screw the preseason. Like I'd rather have the 2 extra games.
Do you think that that's really a factor these days? I mean, I'm going to say in like the 80s, it was more like a tryout, but I feel like this day and age, the team's pretty much picked. There might be one guy that is a surprise in preseason, but generally you got to prove yourself in the AHL or somewhere else, I feel. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, I don't see like guys coming into training camp and really lighting it up and making the team. It might happen now and then, but I don't think it's often anymore.
Yeah, there's so much data out there and so much video.
Yeah.
There's eyes in all the buildings, and they're seeing these kids and tracking the progress and tracking where they're at in their career and where they're at in their development. All that stuff is
Yeah.
like, again, like back in those days, it was like you had to get your hands on VHSs, right? Like now somebody does something, I don't know, whatever level, like 12-year-olds do so. It's all over Instagram. Like not that the scouts are looking at Instagram, but they're just saying the amount of data and amount of information that's flowing around now is, you're not surprised too often if you got your eyes open. So to your point, yeah, it's not so much where someone just blossoms out of nothing and, whoa, where'd this guy come from? Like they're being tracked. And when those guys are being tracked, if there is a possibility of that, obviously a general manager or whatever scouting staff is looking at where their pieces are in their big club. And okay, there's something, this guy, coming into camp, that guy's going to have already the spotlight on him, so to speak, and his chance to, show what he's got. Does that make,
I have one question that we addressed quite a bit. I don't know if you were familiar touching on PJ's with the GM and coach with the Rangers the last year and a half. What's the communication like between the GM and players and the coach? Like, does the coach on a daily basis come together? How often does the GM get involved with the players? Do they communicate well? Because it seems like from our perspective, the Ranger players aren't getting information that, they're surprised by a lot what's going on. Like they're not talking face to face with the coach or the GM, and it's a weird situation, I feel like, in the last year and a half with the Rangers. I mean, I don't know how it is.
Yeah.
You follow that question, or am I explaining it right?
Yeah. No, I think it's every organization's a business and every business is ran differently. So there's no blueprint and what is supposed to be done or how it's supposed to be done. I think it's to each their own as a general manager. They're in the power seat and they can, have as little interaction with the players or as much as they want. It's different everywhere. So what kind of, and that's also, that's the thing too. It's the locker room is the coach's realm, and that's why you hire a coach, and that's his office. And how much as a general manager you come in there and doing your shit, how does that affect the room? It's a finicky line, and some people are great at it, right? Like there's general managers that can find that balance. And when they come in, they get good stuff, or they come in, they got a guy, maybe guy's in a slump, they help him out of it, or whatever it might be. There's every GM's different. Some are ex-players and or really good players, and some are business guys. So it's different cuts and what their general manager. So,
one more question on that. You've been around a few teams in the NHL, obviously some different coaches. There was also an issue with the Rangers this year where they lost a bad game, and Laviolette admitted that he didn't even go in the locker room after the game. He never does. Is that a coach by coach thing too? I mean, I know on my level, I go in and say a few words, or I'll just let my assistants go in, yada, yada, yada. But I don't know. Is that a surprise, or does that happen often that they don't go in?
When you suck that bad, you just know, like, you don't need someone in there. It's just kicking a horse when it's, kicking a dead dog, basically kicking a horse when it's down, or whatever the expression is. I know I'm butchering it, but like as players, you sucked. And there's sometimes it just, like nothing needs to be said.
Yeah.
What are you going to say? And
so then does the coach like address it at practice the next time you guys are on the ice? Like talk about it, not yell, but
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a righting of the ship. There's a big problem when you lay an egg. Like, why'd we lay an egg? Like, and if it's embarrassing and it's a pounding, like, and you see the lack of dig in and lack of pushback, and I mean, there's some nights you get your ass kicked when it comes from lack of effort and lack of care. You're walking a finicky line as a coach, and coming in and barking and doing this shit. Like, you're only going to make it worse. You're going to push your people away. It's no different than any other relationship. There's balance to it, and you got to know when to push and when to lay off. And, that time when they, guys, they're going to reflect and they're going to look back at it. And if they're not embarrassed by it, then you know what? You get a character problem.
Gotcha.
Character problem when you got a salary cap, and these aren't just like, dolls in your playroom. They can't just be like, oh, I'll get a new doll. Like it's a $5, $6, $7, $9 million asset. So it's not so easy. And there's, they got contracts that are guaranteed, so it's not easy to move them around, and you can't just bully them. There's also rules. So it's not that easy as just,
it's harder.
Snapping a finger and getting what you want out of them. So you walk a fine line. And as a coach too, it's like your shelf life is what it is. If your players quit on you, you're screwed. Like, jobs you get hired to get fired. So,
on that contract talk, the Panthers, again, talking about them, they had the 3 guys sign somewhat player-friendly deals, team-friendly deals, I should say. I'm sorry. Just to keep the organization together. I mean, you think they like talk amongst each other and say, let's stick this out? Or, I'm sure obviously personality, some guys are, let's say, greedy and just want as much as they can. But I think that's pretty cool the way that culture's set up, where Marchand just said, I want to stay here. They look like they're having a blast.
I don't have to guess. They're on social media in the Bahamas together. I'm sure they were talking about.
Yeah, right.
They're all tarps off. And speaking of that, I didn't get the memo for the tank top boys. Why?
Well, this is a Rangers I got on the internet. I'll send one to you if you want, but.
This is a Coach Ed's personalized Coach Ed's doghouse.
We got to send. We'll send you a shirt, Schrempy, but you got to like wear it somewhere significant.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Next time you go to the golf course in a t-shirt,
maybe next Sandbagger.
Yeah, next time you go to the golf course in a t-shirt, it's got to be our t-shirt. Something like
exactly.
that.
Guns out, baby. Sun's out, guns out. That's actually a very unique setup there, and what they built in Florida, and great coaching staff and the great general manager, Bill Zito. I've known him since I was a kid out in Chicago. We skated together. I've known him a long time. So watching what he's climbed through and gotten to the position he's in and what he's doing there is awesome. The culture is obviously great there. They got fan base now. It's a true winning culture. I mean, for years there was a lot of talk of that. Someone new come in, want to bring a culture, never happened. And finally, Vinny Viola found a way to do it. Brought the right people in, and they're doing great stuff. And a guy that kind of gets looked over and was a big piece of the start of that was Dale Talon, coming over from Chicago, and some things happened there where he got moved aside, but he has got brought back into the fold, so to speak. But some great people there, and the guys are obviously enjoying coming to the rink every day, and it's a brotherhood. And money's not everything. It's on a different view of it. Is it good for the league? I don't know. I don't think so. Right. Because we're all by comparables and stats, and that's how the contracts go. So when those guys start taking lower numbers, it could have a ripple effect. But on a Cinderella story, so to speak, or a Disney movie, and seeing these guys be selfless, it's fucking awesome.
I mean, they're not poor.
No. You only get so long to work. Your body only holds up for so long, and you got to maximize dollars while you can. And that talk is not really liked in the public eye because it is a ton of money. But that being said, you got so much time to work. So what you can pull out of your body and maximize that for your family and future generations is something.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
Like there's always a yin and yang to the conversation, but I'm just saying, like every other sport, they squeeze every dollar. So our game is selfless, and guys do a lot of things, just to play hockey on a unit, 5-man unit, and be on a team. You have to be selfless. So our game's a lot different, and seeing stuff like this is no surprise at all. To see guys care about each other enough to take $2-3 million less and maybe some whatever it takes to make sure the cap works and all that stuff that the hard things that the GM has to do.
It's crazy.
Here, it's sick. It's like something you're like, man, I wish you want to be part of it. Like, fuck, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Like I wish it wasn't.
I mean, do you think the GM goes to them and talks about it, or they approach it? I mean, I hate to pry like that, but to me, I'm always curious, like what actually, I think it's great. We've been talking about it with the Rangers. Like, why does he got to take that much money? How much do you need? And does the state tax thing come into effect with the players, really? Because we talk about that a lot too.
Well, I mean, from New York to Florida, it's 13%, right? I mean,
It's a big difference.
like that's at $1 million, go to 10 million bucks, right? And there's different rules. Like you do get taxed when you travel around. There's like artist tax and shit all over the place. So there's different dive. It's not so black and white as everybody thinks. There's different rules, and we pay taxes and different. That's why we all got accountants, and they were all great and looked after us, make sure we didn't get in trouble. So
I remember back in the day, Brian Trottier became a U.S. citizen for the tax reasons and stuff.
Yeah. So the taxes, it does play. It adds to your contract. There's no doubt about it. But it's not like, I think it's getting really polarized in some degree and sensationalized a lot through hockey community about this tax thing. And I don't know. It's kind of weird, now that they're winning and doing well, it's brought up. But when they sucked, you didn't care that, or whoever, you know what I mean? I don't mean to throw names out there, but like whoever, like for a long time, it was just a lot of older guys down there for the back. And nobody talked shit about it then. But now it's huge, winning the cup. And Tampa won some cups. They brought culture. And then, at the end of the day, for me, it's like I talked about it already. Those hockey communities are flourishing again on the national level at youth hockey, which matters. So I don't give a shit that some guy's going down there because of taxes, because his impact, Steven Stamkos' impact, Keith, Matthew Chuck, these guys' impact is huge. Those kids getting as their local hockey players is so freaking cool, man. I got the Syracuse Crunch when I was a 10-year-old boy. They came to town and they had a protein. They brought it back, and that just going to that was like it changed. It gave me so much inspiration, and like I wanted to play pro hockey. So that's what the AHL dudes. Imagine going like your home games that you get to go see for your pro hockey team is that. Like that impact means a lot more, in my opinion, than this shit about them saving $2 million on their state tax and shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's a very good point. Well, speaking of getting in trouble in Florida and staying out of trouble, our presenting sponsor, Dom Lucarelli, is surprising us. We have a special guest for Schrempy. Oop, my bad. There he is, Dom. How we doing?
What's going on, brother?
Nothing. We miss you.
How you been?
Thanks to the guys at Ed's over there, all the Eds there. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate that. And I've been listening to this. This is good stuff. It's really good stuff, but I miss you.
Miss you too.
So Schrempy, Dominic tells me last week he was up in New York. He plays goalie without having peripheral vision. How does that happen?
Dom's the man. I've been out there a few times with him in Estero playing on the men's league team, and he's a warrior, buddy. We last time I was down there, we went down to our good buddy's house to get Dom warmed up. It was this was a full NHL trainer warm up. Like he got him flexing, he got him stretching, he had him in all these getting him ready to go for our Thursday night men's league. And Dom put out a great performance.
That's what I need before my golf game.
So
that place. Hopefully you guys will get to talk to him one day. But Rob, tell him about the very first time you played, and the other team was objecting. They wanted us to forfeit, and I said, I don't care if we forfeit. I just want to play with my buddy Rob. This was the first time, and we're about to drop the puck. They were about to drop the puck. We're lined up in center ice. I'm still yelling, talking to the ref. And then I talk to the captain. I call him over. Listen, we forfeit. You want to go home and tell your wife you played with Rob Schremp tonight, and tell all your buddies to say the same thing. And he goes, yeah, I guess so. Anyway, they drop. Rob Price grabs the puck from center ice to get a warm-up shot, and he's bragging. He's not bragging. He's telling me the truth about his patented shootout, his penalty shot. And so I know what he's going to do, and I'm like, I'm going to try to stop him in front of all these guys. What does he do? He pulls up on the shot. He goes around the net and does a lacrosse goal on me. Right, Rob?
Oh man, there's that peripheral vision. We're right for the weakness.
What's the patented move? The spinorama in the slot with the lacrosse style, or what's the patented move?
I gave him the whirly twirly, boys. I gave him the full package.
Nice.
Well, next time, I mean, I know we always say it, but next we got to get down there and we got to fill some of these shootouts. Maybe I could take a few shots on Dom, and if Coach Ed has anything left in the tank, he can as well.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good time. That'd be a good time, and we got to get on the course. But Dom, what else you got over there in Naples? We plug your firm all the time, but now's your chance to chirp Schrempy live on the show before we let him get back to bigger and better things.
Schremp is stuff. Hold on, here's Zach sitting here. He wanted to show you guys his Lundqvist jersey. Give him a little wave there.
Nice.
What's up, Zach? Nice jersey. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Oh, that's great.
And we got a lot of my shirt. Hockey community down here. We got a lot of retired NHLers that would love to get together. If you guys came down, we'll play golf. We'll go. They do a bunch of the guys, the retired guys, get together every Tuesday or Wednesday morning at the rink for 2 hours just to shoot around.
Wow.
Be a great opportunity for you guys to get out there as well.
We got to bring our skates next time, Coach.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm always hit for game for going to Naples. That's for sure.
All right, Schrempy, Dom. It's like I said, I don't want to keep you guys. Thank you so much for joining the show. Schrempy, before we let you go, man, you got anything you want to plug for now, other than your Instagram, which I've had on the screen?
Oh yeah, no, I do a lot of video work with players, so it's something I offer, and I love development, and I love teaching players, the game a little bit. For me, played the game as a chess match, and I spend a lot of time now doing video work and teaching players that how to manipulate, how to create offense and score goals. So, doing that, and that's something I'm into. Look me up if you're interested. And it's not for everybody, but certain level players, I can have an impact in their career and help them along their journey. The other thing, again, I talked about it already on the podcast, Microbio, my biotech company that I work for, do business development with. If you're in the golf or agriculture space, look me up. We're doing great things and making things eco-friendly and making golf courses beautiful and lush. So,
nice.
Wow.
And thanks for having me on, boys. Dom, it's great to see you, buddy.
You too, brother. Love you, pal.
Love you.
Thank
We
you,
can do a
guys.
whole separate podcast just in your golf stuff then, Schrempy. So it was tough. It's always tough to get you on this online with our schedule and whatever, but hopefully we'll get you back on soon. Thank you so much for your time as always. You're the man. Good luck with everything, and hopefully we see you on the MSG broadcast one day.
All right, boys.
Really appreciate it, Rob. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Guys. Have a good night.
Later, brother.
Take care.
No, Dom, you could stay on for a few minutes if you want.
Okay, all right.
What's that picture you
Hey,
flagged
so,
trying to
I
get
gotta
on
show
the
you.
screen?
Yeah, I
This is
mean,
something
we're trying.
We went to a Rangers Lightning playoff game a few years ago, and I bought this. It was a charity auction. I wound up getting it, but it's got some of my favorite players. This is a print 1862 out of 2000, but it's Vic Hatfield, Espo, pretty easy to pick out. Eddie Jockman on the ground there with no mask. Johnny Busick, and we don't have Rattel on there, but I need his
That's
signature.
got to be that's Gilbert.
Oh, that's Gilbert. Yes. No, Gilbert's
That's
down.
Gilbert.
Rod Gilbert's down here. That's the patch, the Mr. Ranger patch. I think 19 was Rattel, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Rattel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
don't
you
have
just put that
Rattel's
patch on there.
signature's missing.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, if you guys are just listening, check out the YouTube. Check out Lucarelli's nice possession there. So, Dom, that was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Let me tell you what. You guys got to come down and actually sit down at the dinner table with Rob. He's such a great guy, and despite what a lot of people think about hockey players, I mean, there's a cerebral guy. He studied the game. He's a guy that what he's got in his head is invaluable.
Oh, without a doubt. Just to be able to play, just to be able to lace up the skates, it's you gotta be smart to a certain level.
Go every once in a while the local homes. They'll say, Rob, our power play is not clicking. What can you do? He comes out, watches the tape, sits down with the power play guys.
We gotta bring him out to Stony Brook and do the same because our power play is never clicking. So we gotta
Yeah, we
figure
need a
that
power
out.
play coach.
No, for real though. Rob, like I said, he's so generous with his time. He did offer last year, but right before we went to nationals, it was hard to. I think he was still living in China at the time, so we couldn't line up our schedules for our other power play coach or offensive coach to meet with them. But I'm
That's
sure
what I wanted
he
to-
would definitely do it with us this season.
That's what I wanted to ask him. I gotta write notes down. I wanted
You
to
are
ask him
wrong.
how they
You
work
haven't
on-
had enough time to prepare. We've only been scheduling this interview for like 3 weeks.
Well,
Glad you're.
It's a story of my life.
But
anyway, I want to ask him how they do that, how they practice the power play. Like we'll set up a meeting and we'll show the power play, but everybody's watching it. So then when you try to practice it, they're cheating.
Yeah, we could hang out with Schrempy for hours and talk to him and just talk to him. Like Dom just said, it'd be great to just hang out with him for the night and just pick his brain, maybe stuff he's not allowed to say.
Yeah,
on
but
the
Dom,
show
you
and
got to
whatnot,
tell us
but-
when he's going to be there. Like when you know ahead of time, or then I'll get on a freaking plane and go down for a weekend. I don't give a crap.
Me too, man, for sure. For sure. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't tell.
there's a million
You can't
things we
tell.
could ask him.
You can't be like Joe and say, "Oh, Dominic's here," and come over. I didn't even know you were going to be in New York.
Yeah, that was sort of an impromptu trip too. I was supposed to be in trial, and the trial fell through. So I made the trip up there. I was actually going to go upstate and see my daughter. I visited.
Look at Zach in the background, just checking. Look, he's looking at the.
Yeah, I was
screen.
gonna
Look.
say before Zach, I didn't want to say while Schrempy was on, but good luck on starting your little side handyman business. You still doing that on Instagram, or you want to plug it on the show quick?
Plug. Just give him a call. Zach, he can do a lot. He's a certified auto mechanic, certified boat mechanic. He can put together or take apart anything. I can weld stuff. He's a welder. He's a good kid. He knows how to do everything.
Yeah.
Alright,
So
well-
you can weld. You can put
Sounds like
together
Tim-
like furniture for people that need stuff done. Just a general handyman around the house. So, as always, if you're in the Naples area, you can hit up Dom for your legal troubles, and you can hit up Zach for your handyman troubles.
All right, well, cough up some money for sponsorship now, Zach, that you're making bank.
Yeah. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. Love it.
Well, now that I think for a sponsorship, I'm gonna get out of here. He's gonna go figure out how much money he got saved to pay for sponsorship.
Well, Dom, if you don't mind sharing how
leave him on if he wants
your
to be
connection
on.
with Rob Schremp, so the listeners know.
How I know. It was at
Well,
the-
what you're allowed to say, obviously. I mean, if you represented him and stuff.
Your volume went off.
Your volume went off for a second. That might have been because I was talking.
Is it good?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so there's a young prosecutor I'm trying to schmooze on a case that we got set for trial, a criminal case, obviously. And then so I say, meet me out. We'll go get a beer. We'll talk about that case. Try to figure it out. We go sit down at this local. It's called South Street Grill. It's a Philly place, but I go there anyway. The food's good. We order a pizza and we're having a beer. And I see also eating some food at the end of the bar, sitting by himself. The guy who looked like he just played golf, but he's Rob Schremp, I guess 5-6 years ago, whatever. In a little better shape, got an Islander hat on.
Now you're chirping him that he's off the show?
He's on. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. So anyway, we get friendly. I send him down a beer and I say hello. He goes, all right, comes over and says, thank you, of course. And says, I say, oh, you're an Islander fan. I says, I'm sorry to hear that. Something like that. Anyway, he goes, well, it's not really an Islander fan. I said, oh, do you play hockey? He goes, I played a little bit. I was trying to recruit him for the men's league. Still doesn't
That's funny.
I played the Islanders. I was drafted by the Oilers, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't say he's a very humble guy. He says, I gave him my business card. This is my business card, but I have a team. We're Lucarelli Law. I wrote my cell phone number on. I says, when you're ready to play, call me. Anyway, Lucarelli, nobody talking to Schremp about trying to let him play on my team. Anyway,
That's
so we were buddies for a long. Went back and he must have told somebody. I met this guy Dom out, a little bit of a weirdo, but everyone says, "Oh, we know Dom. I'm the only original team from that arena that goes back to '95 or '6. So I've had a team in that league since the arena was opened.
Wow.
That's funny.
Play on the team, and I mean Bob Kudelski played on our team. Who else was on? We've had a whole slew of guys come through our team. Trevor Daly comes out. Those there that have future NHLers spend most of their time working with their kids, but they're all super guys.
And
That's
we had
great.
Rico on the
That's
show
great.
from you met over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. That was what, 2 years ago now. At this point, might have to get him back on to hear some
Tom,
of
we're
his,
losing you.
his
Ask
big
Zach to
rig
fix your
stories.
volume.
Can you hear me? You there,
I think
guys?
every time one of us talks, he gets muted or something. It might be like a weird setting on if you use your phone, but no worries, it's fine for what we're doing.
What were you saying about Rico?
I was saying Rico was a defenseman on my team, probably for about 7 or 8 years. And not only he's a big guy and an intimidating guy, as big as he is, he's kind of lumbering around the ice there, but nobody can take the puck away from him because of his size, sort of the way Lemieux, a guy off one arm and his stick handle with the other. When Robbie talks about the power play, Rico's vision was incredible. Just in this, I guess anybody that makes it to the NHL can do the same things that they do. But I could see Rico watching stuff from the other end of the ice, watching how guys are moving, and he's watching defensemen moving. He's looking at the goalie going side to side. Where is he looking? Is he up or down? And then he watches a guy cross. As a guy crosses, and he knows the goalie's going to dip his head this way to look around the guy. He slots it up in a corner somewhere and no one sees it. The defenseman can't get to it. No, it's just it's a beautiful thing to watch a pro player play. It was, and I've had a lot of fun over the years. Just these old retired guys coming and playing on my team. They're just super guys too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So that's what Dom's does. He just tosses him a duffel bag and says, "Yeah, we just need you for a few games, whatever you got to do."
We have fun after.
You got a jersey and some cash in it. You're good. It's like the KHL. That's
like
how you run
KHL.
your team over there. But for the fans listening that don't know who just Rico is, we had Eric Rico Ricard on the show a few years ago. He was drafted by the LA Kings in 1989. He was CHL Defenseman of the Year. Played with Wayne Gretzky, Nicky Fotiu, McSorley, players like that. So we had some really good stories. If you could find that episode, it's a great one to listen to. And like I said, maybe we can get Rico back on. When we had him on, he was on from his big rig in Chicago. He drives a truck now, right? Does he still drive the truck?
Talk to him all the time. He talks while he's driving.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get him a little bit more stationary next time because we were losing him in and out. We definitely got some good clips and some good stories. I don't know what episode that number is, but if we find it, I'll share it on Instagram or something. So yeah, man. I mean, like I said, we'd love to get down to Naples. We'd love to lace him up with you, Dom. Tee him up with you, probably more importantly. We still got to figure out how to film a commercial. We're all just very busy, but we got to figure it out, and we'll go from there, man. Any other quick stories? We promised Coach we'd keep this at an hour, and we're getting to that limit.
Pekoski, see, as he's lovingly known by those LA Kings championship teams. Chris has got some stories, man. I would talk to Chris. He was my roommate for 10 years. Played hockey with him too, but he would tell these. I would call him up.
Sorry, you broke up again.
So Chris Pekoski was the massage of the LA Kings. We were roommates for years. Chris, he sends out his resume, sends it to a bunch of teams. I'm like, Chris, no one's gonna. Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna get picked up that way. Or you wanted to do this work for an NHL team. The Kings call him. They have a meeting with him. They call him back and they give him the job. He winds up. He's there 3 years. He wins 2 rings, and he gets
awesome.
the cup. And that's another whole story. I'll let him tell you that story when he got the cup and I flew out to LA. But Chris is a great guy, and the best part of what Chris did, being involved with those teams, was him telling me about his conversations. So Chris is a massage therapist. He's also a very smart guy into psychology and whatnot. And when he talks, if he gets going, he's very shy to start out with. Once he gets going, he can get inside your head and he will make you listen. And he basically, I give him a little bit of credit. I don't know how much credit the players give him for those cups, but when those guys were down, I think it was against when they were down 3-0, 3 against San Jose.
Yeah.
Right. They were down 3 games to nothing. They came back to win, and then they win the cup after that. Chris says he convinced those guys every night they were going to win that game, and just talking to them. But those stories are just things that you're going to love when you talk to Chris.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love to get him on. It's definitely gonna happen. If you want to shoot me his phone number or however we can get in contact, we'll toss the keys over to PJ, and we'll definitely get that on the schedule for the summer. Dom, as always, we appreciate everything you do for the show, not only being the presenting sponsor, but hooking us up with guests like that, especially Schrempy, Rico, as we just talked about, and in the future, Chris. That's going to be a great interview, especially because I'm sure he has some stories about Jonathan Quick for us Ranger fans. So that's exciting stuff for sure. We'll definitely get that up. We'll definitely get that going. So, Dom, thank you so much, man. Thank you for joining us. You're always welcome on the show, and we will see you next time, man. Thank you again, Coach. You got anything else for Dom?
Stop pushing those mushrooms, Dom. I only eat mushroom powder. I don't eat the mushroom direct.
Actual mushrooms, not psychedelic mushrooms.
No, Kathy gets me the mushroom pills, not those kind of mushrooms.
My head went there at first. I'm not gonna lie, Coach.
Yeah, well, no, the mushroom, the lion's mane.
Nootropics. We'll go with that. The nootropics. Dom,
I got to tell the story when I first met Dominic. Let me tell my story before we sign off.
Yeah, we got a few minutes.
My good buddy Joe Darrow, who's supposed to eventually sponsor also, we keep saying he wants to, but whatever. I'll know if he's listening now, Tom. He goes, come on, let's go down to Naples. I want you to see the table. I want you to meet my friend Dominic. He plays hockey. So we go down there. We play golf. We go to Dom's house for dinner. He goes, come over for dinner. And he's cooking in the kitchen. He's making it smells great. Everything's good. He puts the plate, he makes the plates. He puts them on the table. And it's pasta in oil with mushrooms. There's a couple of things I don't eat. One is mushrooms, one is broccoli. And I see him looking at me from the end of the table, and I just met him that day. I'm pushing the mushrooms to the side, and I'm eating the pasta because I love the flavor, but I can't eat the mushrooms. So then the next day we're playing golf again. We're out at the bar. We're at North Naples or whatever. He goes, I got a question for you. What's up with the mushrooms on the side of the dish? I go, I knew you were looking at me. I don't eat mushrooms. He's staring me down like I was on The Sopranos, like he was Tony Soprano.
Don't forget.
That's so
very hospitable. Great time down in Naples. If anybody ever goes down there, look up Dom.
Yes.
Very giving and have a great time down there.
That goes for all of you guys. There's an apartment in the back that's empty most of the time. You guys can use it whenever you come down.
Well, we got a decent amount of people watching right now, Dom. So let's not get carried away. You mean the three guys on screen, not everyone.
Isn't that part of the whole spiel? You need a lawyer, and he hooks you up.
Yeah. Well, if you're in trouble, call Dom.
He gives you room and board. He makes you room and board, pasta with mushrooms. The whole thing.
Yeah. You get what you pay for it, Dom. None of that just like random invoicing from a lawyer, like you get what you pay for.
Oh, that's funny.
Good stuff, Dom. Good stuff. Love talking to you, man. Thanks for joining us. I know PJ didn't really get to talk much this episode. As always, the episodes don't go really as planned in the off season. Schrempy with
mostly due to me.
Well, no, not even. Schrempy had the good stories, and I should know better. We can't plan an episode with Schrempy. It's just gonna go the way it goes, man. We just hang out. It's not really an interview. It's more of hanging out with a buddy at this point. He's the man. But yeah, PJ, what do you got? You got anything to add here? Just us clowns, just joking around with Dom.
Just enjoying, taking in the laughs. Love a good coach story.
Dom, I got a question for you also. When you played with Schrempy in the men's league, did he back check? Wait, click it.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, yeah, no, I mean, he back checked. He's all over the ice. He does what he wants. He would tell guys, he would say, he was kind of taking it easy. Want the other guys to get pissed off. So he's taking it easy. He scores a goal here or whatever. But we're down a goal or two. And he tells probably the guy even older than me on my team. He was probably already 60. He says, go to the goalie's blocker side, keep your stick down on the ice on the corner of the box there, and the crease. He says, but hold on to it really hard. He says, if you can, without getting pushed over. He says, hold on to it really hard. I'm going to put it right on your stick. All you got to do is move your stick an inch. It's going in. And he carries the puck from behind my net up the ice, like they're standing, like they're pylons. And he to the corner. He gets over the blue line. He fakes one way, gets the guys looking one way. He goes back the other way, and he snaps it onto this 60-year-old. Who, by the way, played juniors in Canada, but he's now 60s. Puts it right on his stick, and it goes in, just like that. I mean, almost like you couldn't script it better. I mean, young blood couldn't do it. It was crazy.
You know what it is? It's like you were saying before. Their mind is at such a different level. Like I equate it to like football when they're trying to fake plays one way to make guys think. Like he had that all in his mind, what he was going to make everybody do, and he knew the reaction, and he knew what he was going to do later. And to do that like in real time,
that's another
is the secret. You know, everybody could draw it on paper, but to do it in real time and they do it at a high level. I mean, obviously the men's league isn't a high level, but they do that in the NHL. It's insane what their mind is doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten so much joy out of playing with those guys at that level, and then hearing their stories and the stories, the camaraderie in the locker room before the game, after the game, and then there's always the 6 or 8 of us that will go over to have a beer after the game. It's just fun stuff, and then listening to their stories after a couple of beers is even better.
Yeah, that's great stuff. You're living the life down there, Dom. I missed the boat on that one too. I don't know why Joe didn't stay down there. He's out of his mind.
Anyway, we would have had a lot of fun. Joe and I have had a lot. That's about a 3-hour segment to tell some Joey stories on there.
We'll have to put those behind a paywall, Dom.
Yeah, that's not going to be. It's not for live broadcasting.
Yeah, maybe if we start a Rangers at Patreon, we'll get that going. But good stuff. I mean, I keep saying trying to end the show, and you keep telling more stories. I'll hang out for as long as you guys want. This is good stuff. I mean, we got the viewers, but looks like Coach wants to take a dip in the. Well, maybe not.
No, my question was, I wanted to ask him, but he had to go. I see he's doing like this personal coaching, which I'm a big fan of. Yeah. I mean, I talk about it all the time. How Schneider does it. I think what's his name was doing it. Who's the center that used to play with Brett Hull? PJ, the assist leader. He's like one of the assist leaders in the league. Adam Oates. Yeah. He does that personal coaching and
like
stuff.
Consulting, kind of, yeah.
Consulting. And I heard Schremp say, I'm trying to help these guys score goals. So he's not talking about the defensive side at all? Hit the button.
Well, I feel like Schrempy would be a outstanding skills coach. No, I think the way he has his phone set up might be it. It's okay. We're almost done. Just wait for another person to finish talking, and then you can go.
All right. I don't know if I'm
on. Hit the button.
Click. Now it's unmuted, and
now you're good.
Okay. Anyway, no. So I don't. Regarding Rob and playing defense, he didn't need to play defense. And what he does, he went back. His wife is from Latvia, and he went back there before the pandemic just to get out of the United States because he was worried about his family. And her family over there is she's got her entire family. So he goes back there and he starts working with kids there. And he's telling me about these kids that he's working with, and he's having fun. And they're trying to convince him to play in a men's league over there, and they've heard of him. They know who he is. That's how he met his wife, I believe, because he was there playing when he was younger. But he says, he works with those kids, but he's honest. Unlike a lot of these guys that do this stuff, they pump up the parents, tell them how much potential the kids got, soak the parents for thousands and thousands of dollars, and then they say, it's too bad. It was a nice try. And Rob tells the truth. He says, listen, I can work with you, son. He's going to need a lot of work, or he's going to need a little bit of work, or he's got great potential. And he's straight up with him. He's just a good guy, and he's a great. He can tell when someone's got some talent, even at a young age.
Yeah, he was telling us that. That's when we first interviewed him. I think he was over in Latvia, wasn't he, Ed?
I think this is either the third or fourth time we've had him on, so I feel like he's just like touching the map. He was in Latvia I think the first time he was in the States, I'm not sure where. The second time was Latvia. The third time was China. Doing something similar, working with kids, developing like a high level, I guess, high youth level program over in China, and now he's back in London, Ontario. So he's back over in North America. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the first time I'm making up or not, but he was definitely in Latvia one of the times, and then China after that.
Yeah, I think Latvia was
Hong
the first
Kong.
time. I missed the second one.
Wasn't sure if we had one before the Latvia or not, but either way, always a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, Dom. Good stories. I'm sure our fans enjoyed the laughs with Coach, as always. I think Coach wants to go take a dip in the pool.
Looks nice.
Behind him. And yeah, man. Good
Not
show.
only does Dominic sponsor, he supplies us with guests.
Absolutely. Multi-facet presenting sponsor without a doubt. So thank you so much, Dom, as always. I'm sure our fans are appreciative as well. You guys have a good night. Quick one for you guys, and let's go Rangers. Love you guys. Later,
Love you guys,
Keandre.
Dom. Have a good night.
Little Ed.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.
Hey everybody, Coach Ed here. I'm over here in the shop at Bella Italia Marble Granite and Quartz, picking up my order for a nice little bathroom I'm doing. I've been a contractor almost as long as I'm a hockey coach. So listen to me when I tell you, when you want the quality work and craftsmanship, come and see the boys over at Bella. They serve all 5 boroughs, Westchester, Long Island, all the way out to Montauk. Whether you're a Ranger fan, Islander fan, Devils fan, they're going to take care of you no matter what. Make sure you give them a call, 516-561-1018. Let's go Rangers.